Hello everyone, my name is Martin Animation and welcome to the tutorial of drawing. This is a drawing tutorial. So I'm going to bring my mic a bit away from my CPU fan and I'm going to have it close to me. I gotta make sure that the sound is okay, it's coming from the mic. I'm going to have to edit the sound able to get a good video. So what I wanted to show you is I have been using the RAM that I have bought and everything seems to be a much more smoother, working much more smoother, and I'm just saying because I'm not really a tech guy. So after just removing the six-year-old RAM I had inside of my computer for some new RAM, it did bring up a better performance, though it did not like help out with lag at times. I mean, the lag is like to a very low minimum, especially when I play Skyrim. So let's get down to business. I don't know why I like drawing shocked people. Alright, so what I wanted to talk about is heads. So we all know this eye line, right? Hopefully everyone knows that you should draw. There's different ways of doing this. Sadly, I have no tutorials of me drawing as much, but I like to do ovals because that's how the human head works. It's ovals. They're ovals, not circles. Circles are mostly for like young toddlers, babies. They're like for babies when it comes to circles. But when you like a 10 years old kid or 15 or teenagers and up, it is mostly definitely ovals. You want to stick with ovals. Vertical, not horizontal. Horizontal is the baby ones, these guys here. And I'm using Sketchbook to do this. I would use Coretta, but Coretta is not on my side with my graphics card and it lags. Same for Photoshop. So let's not make this a stupid tutorial like the others. Let's try to get it interesting. If my keyboard and stuff works. So the RAM actually does work pretty well. Performance wise it does, and that's what I got it for, is performance, not mostly for gaming, but it did help out a lot in gaming, like I said, which I was surprised to see, due that this is like 16 bits of RAM, 16 gigs of RAM. That's what I meant to say. I'm going to go into my computer properties, and I'm going to show you from it looking from a 6 to now looking as a 16, and it really helps out a lot when it comes to performance. Without the exceptions of the graphics card and CPU, and I'm doing this all on my laptop because I can't get my my desktop. Yeah. So with that said about using ovals, it's really awesome just to use ovals, and it makes it easier, much more easier, to draw out the heads. What I mean by much more easier, I mean by it is much more easier. I'm just doing these little hairstyle thing just because I like doing that. I mean, it's much more easier than doing this. I mean, you can still do this if you want to, like make the circle and then do the jaw, and you can still do that. It doesn't hurt to change though, it really doesn't. So okay, like that. And this is not just can be done on digital, this is also can be done on paper as well. Sadly, I don't think I should do my stuff on paper because I don't have a good lighting setting. I have a very bad lamp, and that's only good for like taking pictures of the finished product. So we got these done. So the other way of doing this is just draw the oval like I said, and draw in that oval. Draw the crosshair lines. Should get back to doing tutorials. And it just gives it, I think, a better way of doing things, especially when you're drawing inside that shape and making shapes pop out of that shape. I still can't find a tutorial on how to explain what I know when it comes to doing that. And when it comes to doing like pupils, I really don't know what I'm going to call this tutorial because I'm going to be showing a lot. Drawing pupils and then drawing the inside of the pupil, mostly using your arm to draw the. It's going to take some practice. I'm going to say, I will admit, it will take some practice to get that done. Here I am talking like one of these professionals. I'm not so professional myself. I just like to draw. And just staying with that shape, sometimes making a little zigzag and changing it up. Also, it's good to do some strokes like these as a warm-up. It also helps when you want to draw, but it takes practice because you're not going to learn this stuff overnight. You're going to have to practice. That's how bad I used to draw when making cheeks too fluffy. I mean, this was when I wanted to do cartoons, but it still doesn't look bad. Okay, so I showed you how to do the oval of doing the eyes when I did them here, and I'll do them for the rest of these guys here. I gotta check my CPU. Yeah, everything's still good. The RAM actually does help. Better than having the 6 gigs, which was the only reason why it's bad, because it was very outdated RAM. And this is like up-to-date RAM that I'm using. And it actually does put up quite of a better fight than the other RAM, because I'm not lagging when drawing anymore. It also used to happen in this, in a sketchbook. I'm going to probably try also testing it with streaming probably after this, but I shouldn't do it because I have GTA I have GTA like installing and doing its updates and stuff, and it was not so easy. This is a monkey. So yeah, using ovals is really powerful, especially when doing hand gestures. And it's also, I think, a good exercise on drawing ovals, which I think also people have said. But what I'm also doing is I'm also doing the panning by pressing the space bar. The space bar inside of the thing. Just keep tapping the space bar while drawing with my other hand, but I'm actually right-handed. So let's just do that. And you've got the laptop. the laptop is not connected to that keyboard, because the laptop's keyboard is completely broken. That's why I don't use it, and that's why I use like this other keyboard from Logitech. Tech, I think. Logitech. And if you just keep practicing and exercising, you can do like nice waveable lines like these. Going back to using ovals to draw the eyes, and this is just for just cartoons, and to sum them up to what how should I say it, like the way I draw my anime characters, which is changed out for multiple times. It used to be just by putting the crosshair and drawing underneath it, but I guess it depends on the type of character you're drawing. Like if he's an old man and he's small, I guess it would work. Not sure, because I did not try that. But this is actually good for a small character, having drawing underneath the crosshair. If you want to still draw underneath the crosshair, things get a bit complicated when you want to do it for an adult. Still using the oval shape and creating a square out of that shape, just crafting and repositioning lines, even though you see the old previous lines. But I think that's the best thing about sketching. You can work with that circle and turn into a face and just readjust lines, and then just go all out creating stuff, because I am definitely going all out making heads. Okay, so with that done, this is actually not done, so let's get this done. So on the bottom, if he's like looking downward, like his entire head is like facing like downward, I guess we'll call this tutorial working with heads. And then just do mini ovals for like pupils, especially if he's a villain or a sort of interesting character, because not all cartoons have to have like big pupils to look all innocent. There can also be badass characters that are superheroes as well, with small pupils. It's gonna look a bit uninteresting, so I'm gonna like make a neck, ear, like that, and then shade, doing so. It's also good to have appeal when doing these characters, make them interesting. Sometimes I don't like them to be just Japanese, so I try to make them a bit American by adding dimples, but they still have the small nose, because I like that style too much. It actually gives them a much more interesting feel. And I look at the other people who are like drawing and stuff, and they don't even seem to have as many subs. I think it's because you're mostly liking appeal when it comes to drawing. I mean, if you're not really into it and you're just doing it for money, and all you say is, oh, I'm good at drawing, or I'm somewhat good, you really want to like just keep on improving your work, even if you have to look at tutorials like I did, because now look at how I draw now. I think it's really complicated when it says, when people say I have a gift, and I just say it's complicated because it leads to like, oh, how or why do I like doing this, or how did I get good even though I've been drawing all my life. And I mostly like think the internet and the tutorials I learned on there, and that's why so many people get good, a million times better than they would if they drew for like than the people who drew for like many years, because now you seeing the people like my age reaching their potential at a very young age. I'm just like working with the characters here. Go back. I'm gonna see if my mic is still on. Okay, and I'm still drawing. So I think another thing I can show, now these look like they're not very bad, but they looked a lot more worse in an older video I did. I'm gonna go to my channel real quick. I'm gonna show you guys some very cringeful stuff if I can get to YouTube. COM. Second as it loads. I'm gonna go to my channel real quick. Sometimes YouTube will actually, here's the thing, sometimes YouTube, when you click on a video that you're really not interested in and you just want to look at it for a bit, YouTube will think, oh yes, I think you want to look at this video or look at some other type of content that is somehow related to this type of video, and then they just start posting it inside of your your homepage, and it's just so much crap, and you just like, I really did not ask for this. So luckily they added a setting called not interested, which means you can tell them that you're not really interested, and then they have the audacity to ask why, and then put you up with this survey crap. That's not even like 5 seconds. It's more like 1 second, but it's still a survey, and they're asking you questions of why. And I don't think that's really so important when it comes to a big media as such as YouTube. Okay, so right now I'm going into to look for the oldest videos that I've created, so I'm just trying to show you guys, like, okay, this is like before modern animation. I said I have to go, like, I'm gonna just press 7, see if we can get there very quickly. How long have we been up? We've been up for like 17 minutes. My computer is actually working pretty well. Look at all this old stuff. Okay, so here's an old video I did. Let's put that into a new tab. And you're gonna see some cringeful work of things here. I just thought that this would be actually good to show you guys, because just so you can know that it does take practice. I mean, this is an old video, and this is like from like, so I'm guessing it took me like what, 2 years and a half to get to where I am now. So if we like look in the back, you can definitely see it's like from the beginning of 2014 I was not really a good YouTuber. I was at my beginning stages at only 7 subscribers and 1093 views. I was not really having the best.
Hello everybody, my name is Rand.
And as you can see, I'm gonna just mute my horrible ways of speaking. So in this tutorial this is some very cringeful work. You can see that my lines were not so as good. Everything was very liney. I can't really say the word. So as you can see, I'm doing like the same techniques that I do now, but the stuff I did then was much more bad. It was a million times worse. Everything was like, I even balled up drawings and stuff, but I did not give up, even though my work was so bad. Just looking at this and looking how bad it was is so cringeful. So much cringe. Um, Almost enough to try to get me triggered, but I can't. Because I'm looking back at this and I'm like, yeah, this is. I actually looked at this a while ago, so that's why I'm not so very stunned at how bad I'm drawing right now in this video. And it was really bad. This is a very bad. It was a very bad tutorial. Um, I was like all over the place. I was a mess. And this is also during my dark age of trying to get back to an old YouTube channel that I mostly abandoned for at least I think it was 2 years because it's 2014. It was 2014 here, so yeah, it's about 2 years. And when I left my school in Philly, here in PA, I went back to trying to create my YouTube channel, and it's much more better than how it was in these dark times. And I can tell that I was definitely going through a dark phase in this moment. This moment all by itself was this was when I was talking to people on Google Plus before I actually got big, and I just kept posting and posting. This is when I was a nobody, and this is when I had free will. This is the Cat Williams video that I did of a YouTube poop that has gotten claimed by 71 Productions, which is just wants to take people's money and think of it as a joke. But yeah, I was morally like free to do whatever I pleased at that time. But right now, all it is doing this stuff. I'm trying to like slowly getting back to that stuff, but I don't want to do it as much. I want to get back to making more than just animation and trying to show what I can do when it comes to making content and when it comes to doing these things. So this is a bit weird, but you can tell that there's a lot more fluidness in my line work. It's not as very cringe-worthy as it was in that tutorial I showed you. I'm probably gonna go back to that video. I'm gonna like make so when I upload this, I'll have the link down in the description when you watch this video, and so you can see it for yourself and see how bad it was. Okay, so that was like what, like a year ago. Well, not really a year ago. That was like 2 years ago, because it's about to be 2 years since that actual tutorial, and how far I've came in 2 years, and slight very not giving up of doing what I do. Plus, since at the time I was very antisocial, and I just recently talked to my mom, and she says that I have been drawing since 1999. That's actually the year when I actually started, and that's when I was actually at a school called community school. And what got me into the vibe of drawing is when they asked me to draw something, and everyone else was drawing. I was drawing. My stuff looked like blobs. They were stuff like this. I really was not good at drawing at the time. And whoever thought that that was going to be what I would be doing now, plus in the bonus of doing animation. All I know is the real thing that really inspired me was like television and stuff. How much everything was free. Of just watching TV, and how free it felt when it was not limited as how it is now, with being censorized and being toned down. Luckily, we have the internet, where we can talk our minds without people coming up to us and saying, hey, we can't do this, when we actually can. I think that's the best thing about internet, because we can all have our voices heard. And if I did never try the internet to share my work and share my content, I probably wouldn't be the guy I am today, being very thankful for you guys for actually watching my content. And it means a lot. It really does. And hopefully when I do get a job, I hope I really don't ever stop doing what I do now. So what I'm drawing right now is just a random character. And I'm doing it very quickly. I was always fast at drawing. I feel like I'm like redoing that old video, but so much better. So much way better than how it would have been then. Okay, so I showed you guys on what to do about heads. I think in the next one we'll do bodies. We'll do bodies. So if you guys have seen this video, it's going to be edited, but I thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, my name is Martin Animation, and I am signing off, and I will see you guys later. Bye bye.